Hi, this is Book Reviews for Writers. My name is Diego, I'm a writer, and today I want to do a quick review of this book, The Twitching House by Ben Farthing. Just give you a quick second to look at this gorgeous cover, and I guess the main thing I wanted to show you from the cover is that just conveys really good the promise that the writer is making to the readers. And that's it. This is a haunted house story told from the point of view of the mice living in the house. So I think it's really, really important because from the start you know what you're getting into. And that promise that the writer makes to the reader, in my point of view, it needs to be fulfilled. I picked this book expecting to be seeing the story unfold from the little corners from the house, from the attic. I wanted to see from how big the house may feel to a mice while the story unfolds. I wanna go into the mind of the mouse and kind of feel what they perceive as the story unfolds. Now, I read a few books from this author, Ben Farthing, and I think one of the things he does really good is he fulfills those promises. So, for example, there is some other books like this one. I found puppets living in my apartment walls. The book is exactly what the title suggests. There is this person, lives in an apartment. There are Muppets, full-size Muppets living in his walls. So, from there, at the end of the book, you are satisfied that if you like that premise, the author delivered on that. There is way more than just the premise, right? The characters are there, the character development is there, the action, the pace for this book, I thought it was really good. I thought the prose was really polished. It was not overdone. I think it was the right amount of length of the book. And, I think that beside the premise itself, the author still has a lot of play about the world building, about the antagonist on the book, the way that he creates the monsters that are part of the haunting of the house. He has the emotional part. There is some interactions between the mice and the humans in the house, and I think that was really well done. Now, with all those elements, you may or may not like the ending, you may not like certain plots, there may be some plot holes, there's always some dubious decisions that the characters make, but at the end, I think overall, if there's a good ending and let's say the writer fulfills the promise that it made at the beginning, I'm really like the book. My memory of the book is great. I can't remember the name of the characters. I read this maybe half a year ago, but the feeling that I got from remembering reading this book was absolutely amazing. Now, I wanted to give you another example of why that promise between the writer and the reader, or the director and somebody going to see a movie, is that important. I thought this is well illustrated by this movie, Army of the Dead. That was Netflix a few years ago. It promised being in Vegas, being a heist movie, lots of zombies, and it promised a big saw on the cover. I think it delivered. The story may be not as deep. It was super fun. It gave us Vegas, lots of zombies, lots of lights. That's absolutely love it because that's exactly what I was promised, exactly what I got. Another good example of a promise well executed, The Martian by Andy Weir. You get promised this is kind of Castaway, the movie by Tom Hanks, but in Mars, and that's exactly what you get. You get this person surviving by themselves on a hostile environment. So at the end of the movie or at the end of the book, whatever you read or watch the movie, I think it delivers. So it was done in a great way. Does it always happen? No. You also have bad examples on when this is not executed, when the writer breaks the promise with the reader. And in my point of view, those are the ones that I've been more unsatisfied. So I'll give you a quick example here. So this one is Whalefall by Daniel Kraus. If I remember correctly, Daniel, together with Guillermo del Toro, wrote the novelized version of The Shape of Water, the movie by Guillermo del Toro. So this was the first time I read Daniel. So, he was Whalefall. Just somebody gets swallowed by a whale. I thought he was going to be like The Martian. There was like this survivalist story about somebody trying to get out of a whale. Part is on me because, I don't know, I was imagining that inside of the whale, I don't know what I was imagining. Maybe I was thinking about old Zelda games where you have a huge new universe inside a whale. I'll give you a full review of this maybe in another video, but half of this book is the story of being swallowed by the whale. The other half is kind of a father-son drama, like sort of backstory, remembering while it's done by alternating chapters kind of thing. If that's your thing, if you feel some connection between father son stories on unresolved conflicts, then that will be for you. For me, I kind of felt betrayed on the promise of having having this person really being really smart, really witty, and trying to get out of a whale. So yeah, unfortunately, this one did not do it for me. This is another example of another book that did not work for me on the sense of broken promises. I absolutely love Mistborn #1. That was my first time reading Brandon Sanderson, and I completely love the story of B, everything that happened on the first book. But the second book, the issue I have with the second book is I was promised way more story from V, our female protagonist, and I was promised a quest to go find the Well of Ascension. Um, so I don't think neither of those two things happened on the book. So I felt cheated. I was half-hearted through the book when I realized that this wasn't going to happen. Brandon Sanderson is great. All the process is great. Like the world building is great. All the magic system from this Mistborn series is absolutely great. I really, really wanted to like it. But at the end of the book, like I said, that promise that was sort of implicit for the story, it was broken for me. I did not finish book #3 because of that, and other reasons. And I'll go in more detail maybe in a different video. So going back to the Twitching House, there is another big important thing I found on this book. For example, compared to Whalefall, I talked about why Whalefall. I was imagining something like a bigger scenery, like a bigger setting inside the whale, and it didn't happen. So the Twitching House, choosing the right setting for your story, I think really matters, because for the Twitching House, for example, the mice can explore many places in the house. You have the outdoors, you have the attic, you have the main room, the kitchen. Like there is an endless possibilities for that. So I think finding the right setting that helps the story to expand and help to keep the reader's attention is great. And I think that's the part that's done really well, and especially because you get to explore the house once, maybe at the beginning, right? Like all the settings, and then kind of a minor spoiler, but then yes, there's some monsters, and then those monsters interact on some of the settings that you had seen before on the story. But I think that's part of the appeal, seeing maybe some of the same places under two different lights when there is danger and there is no danger. The book does that really good. The monsters, I think those were pretty imaginative from the writer. I think it's not really gory. Like it has some mild gore, some mild blood. For me, I don't necessarily like to read anything that's like a splatterpunk. So that's what you call it. Anything that's too bloody is not the right fit for me. But I think this was great. This was more atmospheric horror. It has a good action, has a good pace. I think the story has some heart to it. So yes, I absolutely would recommend this one. Well, tell me if you guys like it, and tell me if you think what I'm saying makes sense. So thank you so much.